Are you just entering Season of Conquest and wondering what all of this talk about Bastions are? What are Bastions? How do they work? Which ones are the best? Come find out in this video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms gameplay episode from your very own Shappy Gaming. Today we are going to be breaking down Bastions. They are exclusive to Season of Conquest KVK, fortunately for those of you that are only in KVK 1 through 3, and they are absolutely essential. We are going to be talking about how Bastions and Heroic Anthem work, as well as how Bastions and Season of Conquest work. Both of them are incredibly important, but they are a little bit different depending upon which KVK you're in. We're also going to be covering which of the different Bastion quests you should be doing and which you should probably be trying to skip. So with that, let's get into it, shall we? Bastions are holy sites that exist specifically in a lost kingdom. And there are a number of Bastions in your starting zone. And so the goal when KVK first opens, if you're in Heroic Anthem, is to clear the fog and find these Bastions. If you're in Season of Conquest or Strife of 8, fortunately I don't think you have to clear the fog, which is awesome. Bastions do work a little bit different in Strife of 8, as you don't actually have the Bastion support buffs, which can be a good thing. But we're going to be talking about what the different Bastion support buffs are, as well as which Bastions are valuable and which are not. So as you can see here, we have a number of epic Bastions in your starting zone. That is pretty typical of pretty much every KVK. You'll notice we have Kusunoki, we have Scipio, we have Baybars, we have Kiera, and if you're in a Heroic Anthem KVK, these different Bastions actually have skills associated with them that give you buffs with or debuffs on your opponent when you are fighting. And so you can actually add these buffs to your marches. And so as you can see here, I have buffs on all of my marches, which is awesome. In Strife of 8, I don't believe you can do that, but Bastions are still really important. Every single day, you get about 15 Bastion quests that you can complete. And we're going to be covering which ones are worth completing, which ones you may want to skip. And so all of that is really valuable. As you can see, we're in the middle of KVK right now, but I wanted to share this with you guys. So you get 15 daily quests right here. And in the most recent update, Lilith actually made it so you can kind of pick those 15. And so we're going to talk about that. As you can see, there are a number of different kinds of quests. And if you do want to see the full list, be sure to check out the guide within my Discord. It's the ROK Calx Mega. Link is in the description. Feel free to go check it out yourself. But what you can see here is that there are a number of different types. So you have donate 3 pieces of advanced iron, complete tech donations, defeating barbs. And we're going to talk about the ones that you probably should be doing and the ones that you might actually want to skip. But why are we doing these Bastion quests, Shappy, right? There's training, there's increasing power. I don't care about that stuff, but you do. And the reason that you care about that stuff is actually because of the crystal mine. So in Heroic Anthem KVK, we have Crystal Tech. Woo! You guys know my opinions on that. But in order to get your Crystal Tech moving really far along, you do need to do these Bastion quests. And you really want to try and get all 15 done every single day. If you need more incentive to do it, there are a bunch of different achievements that you can actually get. So if we come down here, there's complete 600 quests from Bastion commanders, unlock 14 support skills. So you do get rewarded for doing these Bastion quests, which is great. But if you need further incentive, let's actually look at the crystal mine boost that you get from doing these. And if you want to read through this, you're absolutely welcome to. I'm going to scroll through this. But what you can see here is that you unlock the actual support skill at level 6. Again, if you're in Strife of 8, I don't believe this matters. But what's more important here is actually the crystal mine work speed that you're getting for each level that you complete within a Bastion. Now, I will point out that the levels are actually harder as you continue to move up. And so you can see we have 1,450 to get Scipio to level 8. But when you first start out, I believe it's just 300 just to get them to level 2. And so bear in mind that as you go higher in the levels, it is going to be harder to get those buffs. So Shappy, what should I be doing? Well, as you can see here, you typically, for an Epic Bastion, are getting like 1.5%. And that's pretty good up until level 10, where you get 3%. What this means is that you really want to unlock these skills for all of your Epic commanders, and then you can start going from different Bastion to Bastion. Because you're getting that 1.5% boost, you just kind of want to get that skill unlocked and get them to level 6 first. And so if I were you and I were starting KVK, I would see if I could get all of my Epic Bastions in my starting zone to level 6 early on. And the reason you're doing that is you're getting the highest crystal mine boost that you can for your Bastion skills. Because as I said, the Bastion difficulty scales as you get higher. And so, as you can see, level 8, 1700. Level 7, 1450. So you want to see if you can get them all to level 6 right away, which as you can see, I've obviously done. So how do you do that? Which of these quests should you be accepting? I would highly, highly encourage you to be kind of picky with your quests. And the reason that I would say that is there are different quests that are going to do different things for you. And if you have your treaties and cultural exchange up higher, that is going to help you out in the long run. So if you haven't checked out the Crystal Quest or the Crystal Tech Guide, be sure to check that out because that is relevant to this. I'll link that in the top right side of your screen for you to go look at. But the quests that you want to be accepting are the ones that will, one, give you Kahar's Bone Whistle. Why is that? If you have your Plunder Tech up, you can be getting up to 60,000 crystal for a single Kahar's Bone Whistle. That's really, really good. Additionally, you'll notice that these have fairly high favor. These are sort of the middle tier of the different favor quests. You have Defeating Barbs, you have Gathering. So these are the middle tier ones. Absolutely do these. But the quests that are going to be the highest priority for you are going to actually be your power. And so you have the earn 50,000 points by increasing your power. You also have another one that's earn 110,000 points from training troops. If you're a T5 person, these are the same quest. But both of these will give you a Kahar's necklace or bone whistle. And they do have the highest favor and crystal that you can get from any of the quests. What this means is if you can do a bunch of these training quests off the bat, you're going to be way further along than a lot of the other people that you're playing against in KVK. So training quests are the best. Well, Shappy, I don't just want to be training if there's no event. Fair. So what you can do, and what I would recommend doing, is once you finish your 15 quests for a day, go through, because you can continue to refresh your quests and see if you can get ones that will set you up for the next day. Because even if you've already completed your 15 quests, you can still get set up for the next day and continue to refresh the quests that obviously you can't accept right now. And so what I like to do just prior to day 1 of MGE or just prior to Game of Power is I will actually come in and refresh and see how many different training quests I can get on the different commanders I have unlocked. What this does is it gets you to be in a really good spot where you're training, you're getting these Bastion quests, and you are getting yourself set up for whatever event is going on. That's the best way to do this. You can do the same thing for the Gathering events here if you have Gathering within MGE, and you could do the same thing with Barbs within Barbs for MGE or, any of the other events. And I can tell you from experience that it really does help you out in the long run. Now, you may run into a situation where it's an hour before reset. Shappy, I don't have time to go through and refresh my different quests. That's okay. And the reason that that is okay is actually because even though these are the lowest tier rewards, they're the easiest to do and they're the fastest to do. I would recommend you choose the resource quests over the materials quest. They do have some where you have to donate 3 pieces of advanced materials. That's not ideal. That's more expensive than the resource ones. And honestly, the difference is that you get a map versus you don't get a map. So just bear in mind that. But these quests are really quickly done. And it's better to actually get 4 of these done and have yourself 400 favor that you've gained for the day rather than just skipping them and missing them altogether. So if it's an hour before reset and you've got to get them done, just do it. So the quest that you do want to do is you want to do the Defeating Barbarians, you want to do the Gathering quests, and you do want to do the Barbarian Fort quests. There are a couple others that are awesome. One of them is gathering runes, so gather 3 runes, you get a reward, do it. Another is challenging the Lost Canyon. And this event is really interesting because the favor is kind of minimal. But when we talk about crystal, you get a Kahar's bone necklace here. So that's another one that I will always accept and I'll do quickly, because the advantage of Kahar's bone whistle is it gives you more crystal, which you could then use to upgrade your treaties or cultural exchange and just get yourself moving quicker. Bastions are the #1 most important thing in KVK. And the reason is that if we come in here, you can actually go to your crystal mine, and I'll show you mine. Nope. And you can see that the season supply that I paid $5 for on the first day of KVK gave me a 50% boost. But between all of my Bastions, I am getting a 163% boost on production, which is making it so I'm getting at least 400,000 crystal within every 16 hours or so. So the Bastions are absolutely essential. Now, Shappy, which Bastions should I be doing? I talked a little bit about the epic Bastions at the very beginning of this video for you. I showed you that you have some in your intro zone and just things to keep in mind. There are Bastions that are going to be in highly contested zones. So right here is a perfect example. We have zone 5. Not only does the Richard Bastion here have a great skill, which again, if you're in Strife, probably doesn't matter, but it is one of the 14 support skills. And so if you come back to your Crusader achievements here, you will see that you can get 3 legendary heads for unlocking 14 support skills. Well, there's a small problem there. If you lose zone 5, you may not get the opportunity to unlock that support skill. And so something that you always want to try and do is save your 15 quests the day before a pass opens so you can finish these Bastions quickly and unlock those skills so you can get all 14 unlocked. This is incredibly important, especially when there is a vital skill like Richard in this KVK that will help you with rally, garrison, field control, etc. So just keep that in mind as you go through here. The other thing is, legendary Bastions are especially good for crystal mine production. As you saw earlier, for epic Bastions, it's only about a 1.5% boost. But if we come in and we look at the legendary Bastions, you'll see it's 2% for each level. So if you do have Bastion quests available that are legendary versus epic, you really do want to do the legendary commanders earlier. And the reason is that you're getting this Bastion boost that's going to help your crystal mine work even faster than you would otherwise with the epics. That said, it is worth keeping in mind that the legendary Bastions are a little bit more expensive than the epic Bastions. So as you can see here, let's take a look at a level 8. It's 1,700 for Sun Tzu to get to level 9, but it's 2,200 for Wu to get to level 9. So it is a little bit of a trade-off there, but the mine speed is better, and you typically do want to do these legendary Bastions because you have limited time to do them. If you lose Z6, then you lose access to those Bastions. You will always have access to the epic Bastions up until the very last days of KVK when you lose your Z4, in which case it really doesn't matter. But the legendary Bastions you'll have restricted access to, so get those done sooner rather than later. So, Shappy, which Bastions actually matter? So there are a lot of skills that are worth getting for Bastions, and that really changes depending upon your KVK. But you typically do want to go for the Bastion boosts that are going to be troop specific. So Constantine, for example, is going to give you troop health. That's a really good skill. And sometimes, depending upon which skill is available, it may be worth going in and using a skill reset on a particular commander to try and get a skill a little bit higher than it was before. This will help you in the field, and if you're anything like me, you've probably accumulated a bunch of these anyhow. The last thing I was going to cover is that the Z6 Bastions do have a higher crystal mine work speed bonus than the Z5 Bastions. Not all legendary Bastions are created equal. And that is really important to bear in mind because, as I said, you want to prioritize the legendary Bastions as much as you can. But keep in mind that as soon as you hit Z6, these Bastions are going to give you 2.5% boost compared to the 2% that you're getting from the Z5 Bastions compared to the 1.5% that you're getting for the epic Bastions. I'm spewing out a lot of numbers, but this is really, really important, especially as you get started in KVK. because again, you want to get your crystal mine work speed as high as it possibly can be so that you can invest in other techs. I hope that this has been insightful. As I said, there are guides on my Discord in the guide section, so be sure to go check it out. I hope that you've enjoyed. This has been the Shappy Gaming Bastion Boost Guide. The very last thing I will cover is that you can use refresh chances. You get 5, and your refresh chances refresh every 10 minutes after the 5 chances are used up. Be sure to use them. If you get crummy quests, go through and refresh them until you get a good quest. Thank you. Shappy out.